My name is Tamra, and I live at Lake Chapala in Jalisco, Mexico. Today is Super Tuesday, and it means that a lot of people in a lot of the states are voting in the presidential primary today. I'm from Oregon, and we won't be actually voting for several more weeks. But I thought I should probably make people aware of how you can vote from here. Because sad as it may seem, the statistics are really bad in terms of people living abroad who vote. In worldwide, only 3.4% of U.S. citizens vote who live abroad. And I'd like to do what I can to make you aware of how to register. It's probably too late for pretty much everybody to vote in the primaries at this point if you're not registered to get your ballot here. It's not too late for the national election. So I want to encourage you to go through this process and get it done so you can vote in the national election. It's a really important election this year. It's really easy once you move to another country to kind of put politics aside. We aren't involved in the day-to-day news blasts of everything that's happening politically. We kind of tend to fall into complacency about the political races that are happening and the local politics in our old neighborhoods. It still is important. Some states allow you to vote in the state and local elections as well as national. Some only allow you to vote on the national level. At least you should be able to get registered so that you can vote on the national level. I just wanted to say that, the border is really in the crosshairs this year, especially the Mexican border. And those of us living in Mexico, the election may well affect us, traveling back and forth across the border, bringing friends with us. If you have relationships that you started with someone in this country, whether you're married or just in, a friendship or a relationship, a partnership, it may affect whether those people can even come into the United States now or make it much more difficult. So we need to voice our opinions on the election this year, and I'm not going to sway you one way or the other, but I'm just saying that it's a hot topic this year. And so I think it affects those of us living in Mexico a lot more than the people even in the United States. They are looking at it from their point of view, and from our point of view, it may mean that more restrictions in terms of crossing the border. So voting, I don't know about you, but I voted in every election I could, and I don't think I ever missed one when I was living in the United States. And I don't intend on missing an election now that I live outside of the U.S. I still have a lot of friends and relatives that live there, and I know it means a lot to them. And like I say, just watching what happens in the U.S., we can have an impact on what's happening. So the main website that you really need to be aware of is the Federal Voter Assistance Program. So it's FVAP.org. And the Uniformed Overseas Citizens Absentee Voting Act, or UOCAVA, is what actually gives us the right to vote from abroad. I thought I should also mention that I did go through a training at the Lake Chapala Society that was given by the Federal Voter Assistance Program. They sent someone down from Washington to talk, and several of us attended and got all of this information firsthand from them, and were able to ask questions. So I was supposed to receive a certificate that I had completed the class, but unfortunately they probably mailed it, and I may never actually see that. So basically, what you have to do is go to their website, or you can also access the registration through votefromabroad.org, which I guess is a nonprofit. If you just go directly to the Federal Voter Assistance Program, it is a government agency, and it has a wealth of information. Any question that you might have is probably right there on their website, and it has all the forms that you can download to be able to register yourself so that you can vote from here. Basically, the first thing you need to do is go and download the federal postcard application. And that is a registration and absentee ballot request. And that goes directly to your local county at the last address where you registered to vote. That is the address that you use to request this and to do all of your correspondence and to send your ballot. It all goes back to your last address of where you registered to vote. And they made it, very clear that even if that house was torn down and there's a shopping center there, that was the last address you used for voting, and that is the address you'll use from now on if you live in Mexico. Or actually, if you're just visiting here and you know you're not going to be home for November, you will need to file this form to be able to get your ballot and to be able to vote. And then when you get back home, make sure that you go back and you re-register to vote at your address again, because their address, you need to have a Mexican address here and a U.S. address. So if you're staying at an Airbnb, you would use that address if you're just staying here temporarily and you're here on an FMM. So they encouraged us to fill out this application form pretty much every single January, and if you don't, make sure that you file the application at least no less than 45 days before an election. I don't think I got mine in time for the primary, so I don't think I will probably get a ballot for the primary, but I definitely have it in, and I will be able to vote in the November election. So 45 days is the window, but they say some states require you to refile every year for an absentee ballot. So I'm going to put it on my phone, on my calendar, like for January 20th or something. Doesn't matter what day, but some day that works for you. And every year just have it pop up and remind me to get on and send in this form again every single year, so that you know for sure that you will be getting your ballot whatever election is happening that year, and you will get the ballot. Now, in states where it's in between, you would be able to vote for your senators and your representatives. I guess I'll find out. I'm not exactly sure whether Oregon allows me to vote in the local elections or not, and the state elections. I hope so. But, I'm not really in tune with all the players and all the news in the local events, but I would like to vote for my state representatives still. But, if I can't, at least I can vote at the national level. Voting laws are different in every single state. So across the board, you cannot say what the rules are going to be. You have to look at your state. And that's the good thing about going to the fvap.gov website, is right off the bat, it asks you what state you are. And so you put the state, and it'll take you all the appropriate information for your state. And you don't have to worry about searching through a bunch of other stuff that isn't relevant to you. because you'll be able to find exactly what the information is regarding your particular voting laws and requirements. So on the form where you're requesting it, it's registration and request for ballot. It's all rolled in one, even though I'm registered voter already. I guess this like re-registers you as a person living abroad, and immediately says that you are requesting a ballot to vote. On that form, if you scroll down, there is a spot where it asks you to request all materials by email. And so you should, I think every state probably will do this, will send you an email ballot and send you information on the election by email. In Mexico, voting, the mail system here is just virtually non-existent. So never ask for your ballot by mail. Now, accidentally, I did actually get a ballot delivered to me, I guess it was year before last in November. The way the mail is delivered here, a guy on a motorcycle pulled up in front of my house and slipped the ballot underneath my gate because I didn't have a mailbox. A lot of places don't. And all of a sudden I'm looking and I'm like, well, I'd already voted online, but I did actually get a paper ballot. So, but it's best to request it by email. That way you're for sure going to get it in a timely manner. Some states, like Oregon, I can vote by email. And so what I do is when they send me the ballot, I'll be able to print it out, mark it, sign it. I think they almost all require you to actually have a physical signature on the ballot. Then scan it and send it back by email. I actually, 2 years ago, Oregon is way ahead of most of the other states. They actually had an app that I could download on my phone, and I voted on the app, and that was pretty cool. But now I think it's all by email, and I will get the ballot emailed to me. I'll print it out, I'll vote, I'll sign it, scan it, or I guess you could probably take a picture of it if it was clear enough, and email it back, and then I presume that you get some kind of confirmation that they received it. Some states, unfortunately, are still requiring that you mail a paper ballot to them. And so what you can do is print off the ballot if you get it by email, sign it, and then fold it and put it in an envelope. And I would definitely not think you should mail it from here. Guadalajara Consulate actually has a ballot box, so if you go by, you can drop your ballot in the ballot box in Guadalajara. A huge hassle as far as I'm concerned. And they did say it can allow at least 3 weeks, because the consulate then sends it by courier to Washington, D.C., and then in Washington, D.C., they sort through everything, and then they mail it to your local jurisdiction, and it can take a week or two for it to get to Washington, D.C., and then a week or two in the snail mail to get to your state. So that isn't really the best way. I'm not sure what locally is going to be available, but if you have a friend that's going north, and there also are mail services here that you can use to get the ballot up to the United States. So hopefully you live in a state where it doesn't require a paper ballot, because that is really, I would say, a questionable thing. If you do not receive a ballot within 45 days of the election, and you had already sent in your form to receive a ballot, something went wrong in the system. So what you need to do is go to the feap.gov website and download what is called the Federal Write-In Absentee Ballot. And I'll show you that here. And basically what it is you write in the candidates that you want to vote for. And it's pretty much like any other ballot. It just isn't pre-printed. And again, sign it, fold it up, put it in an envelope for security, and mail it. Or email it if you can find an email address for your local jurisdiction. So all applications, all ballots, all everything go directly to your local county office, okay? Your local election office. You don't correspond with feap.gov. You don't go to vote from abroad. You don't send it to the U.S. government. It goes directly to your old election office in your county. So like I lived in Jackson County in Oregon, and so I would send it directly to the election office in Jackson County, Oregon, so that my vote gets counted. So basically, any U.S. citizen can vote, even if you have dual citizenship, or even in many states, if you've never lived in the U.S., but you're still a U.S. citizen, most states allow you to still vote. So I would investigate that. All that information is then on the feap.gov website. It varies by state, but there's a tab called Overseas Citizen Voter on the feap.gov website, and that has all the information that you'll need. When you're filling out the registration form, I wanted to add too, it's safest if you put I intend to return to the U.S. I just wanted to go over this whole thing with you because I think it's really important right now, while we're all thinking about the elections, to get on and go through this process, get yourself registered to vote, and do it, because most likely in your state it's going to be a pretty easy process. They'll email you the ballot, you mark it, print it off, mark it, send it back, probably by email, and your vote will get counted. And I think we need to get those numbers up. It's really abysmal that the number of people living abroad, we got to get that percentages back up. I mean, let's aim for 50% of us at least to get involved. And you can't complain about things and roll your eyes about what's going on in the U.S. Take part, get involved, do something about it. Like I say, you never know if you might be having to move back there or even just travel back there. It's important to have your voice heard. So, thanks for watching. I hope this was helpful. All of the links to these websites are down below, and I invite you to especially go to the feap.gov website. It is really easy to navigate, and it has the answers to almost any question that you might have. Also, in Mexico, you probably can find Vote from Abroad office where you could contact someone and get answers if you can't find the information that you need. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Please hit a like, subscribe, and share it with any friends that you think you'd like to share this information with. It's really important. Thanks a lot. Bye.